Sunday School teacher, I'm glad that you have joined us for our time of preparation and study. We're working on the lesson for Sunday, December 29th, the last Sunday of the year. The title of this lesson is God Calls. We're in Numbers chapter 22, and we're going to be looking at verses 22 through 35. The point of the lesson is that God calls His followers to represent Him and His purposes in this world. We're going to be looking at a Bible story that you're probably familiar with, and many in your group may be familiar with, in Numbers chapter 22. This Bible study session focuses on a biblical character who experienced difficulty hearing and responding to God's message. Nevertheless, through his ordeal, Balaam, and that's who we're looking at, learned that he must clearly present only the message that God gave him to deliver. So here's some background. After Balak was the king of the Moabites. After he had witnessed the Israelites' success against the Amorites, Balak and his folks in Moab were terrified of the Israelites. And so what Balak decided he was going to do is that he would send some of his folks to hire this well-known Mesopotamian diviner. In other words, this magician, this spell maker. His name was Balaam, and he was going to hire him to put a curse on the nation of Israel. And so we see that Balak sends his messengers. Balaam refuses. Balak is not deterred. He sends back another group, but this time Balaam goes, and the reason that he goes is because the Lord appeared to him in a vision. Appeared to him in a vision, told him not to go. Now he tells him to go. And then let's pick it up there in verse 22, and there we see the story. Verse 22, but God was incensed that Balaam was going, and the angel of the Lord took his hand on the path to oppose him. Balaam was riding his donkey, and his two servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing on the path with a drawn sword in his hand, she turned off the path and went into the field. So Balaam hit her to return her to the path. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow passage between the vineyards with a stone wall on either side. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord and pressed herself against the wall, squeezing Balaam's foot against it. So he hit her once again. Verse 26, the angel of the Lord went ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she crouched down under Balaam, and he became furious and beat the donkey with his stick. So again, Balaam agreed to travel to Moab at the request of King Balak. And along the way, however, God became displeased with Balaam. And we see in these verses